when you're looking for fault in people, you'll always find it. Always, no matter who it is. If you're looking for trouble, you'll always find it, no matter who it is. You know, it's always better to look at the good side, the positive side. And if something happens to be there, it's there, you know? Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good. Very blessed on this end. As always, we give God all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving for that because, well, He's God and He certainly deserves it. You know, people ask all the time, what was it like? What's a day in the life of Michael Franzese like? Well, I'm going to give you what a week in the life of Michael Franzese was all about. A very special one. Most of you that tune in know that I didn't do much last week. I was pretty much involved. I was in Florida for the whole week. Very productive week, very enjoyable week. We worked hard, but we got a lot done. I'm going to tell you what it was all about. But before I get into that, let me just remind you a couple of things. June 24th at the Lorraine Theater in Ohio. I'm going to be appearing that night. Tickets are going fast. I think it's getting close to a sellout. It's a pretty big theater. But get your tickets. I'm going to be there. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about, you know, a lot of stuff from the Cleveland area. So many people have reached out to me from Cleveland, just, you know, anticipating my coming, saying we want to get together. A lot of the restaurants in Little Italy, which is a great Little Italy in Cleveland, I'll be visiting down there. We're going to have a good time, do a VIP section, answer some questions, take photos, the whole bit. So that's June 24th in the Lorraine Theater. Another thing that I want to bring up, I'll bring it up in a minute. This is about a very special appearance I'm going to be making with Mike Tyson on July 22nd in Miami, but we'll get into that. And tickets are going to go on sale May 24th. That's Wednesday for that. So, but I'll get into all of that. Franzese Wine, so many people have been asking me. You can go on franzesewine.com as we continue to get, you know, distribution around the country. You can't go in every store and every restaurant yet, but we're getting there. We're in Michigan. We're going into Florida. We just got approved for Canada. We're in 41 states to distribute directly. I'm answering questions here, people. I'm not selling the wine, although it is my wine. I do hope you buy it and enjoy it, but we're getting there. But you can certainly get it direct to consumer at the right price. franzesewine.com. I think there's a link somewhere in here. You can go to that. But let me tell you what this week was about and why I went down there. Let me tell you how it started. We arrived on a Monday, and it was a great flight down there. We go down to Fort Lauderdale. And people, let me tell you something. I happen to love Florida, and let me tell you why. Back in the 1980, I bought a house down there on the water, on the Intracoastal in Delray Beach, which is in the Palm Beach area. And for the next 4 or 5 years, had a couple of boats in the backyard. You know, I was doing pretty well back there. I was in the gas business. We had a big operation in the Northeast. I also had a big operation in Florida. We pretty much had it going on. But at the same time, I was under constant investigation. I was going through trials. I was on some undercover investigations were on against me. There was a lot of stuff. I had a lot of guys under me. It was a very turbulent time in my life. And I used to escape. I had my own jet at that time. I used to go down to Florida all alone at times, sit in my backyard, either on my boat or just in my backyard. And I used to watch the boats go by on the Intracoastal. And it was so relaxing. It's like I forgot everything, you know? It's like whatever was going on in the world wasn't going on down there. So ever since that time, I just took a real liking to Florida. I'm trying maybe to get a place down there so my wife and I can kind of be bi-coastal. We won't leave California because our whole family is here. The kids are here. We were not going to leave. But, you know, maybe we can do both because, hey, I'm getting up there in years and, you know, just, you know, it's one of the things I want to do. So we'll see. I got a lot of friends down there. So we're really thinking about the whole Florida thing. But why did I go down there? Well, I went down there this week because I am doing something. I'm creating a platform with Mike Tyson. Mike happens to live down there. He's got a tough schedule, so we were able to carve out 2 days to film down there. So how did it start? We arrived Monday, great. We went to a nice hotel in Fort Lauderdale. I was with my wife and my daughter Julia. She usually travels with us. She's also my assistant, so she kind of watches everything. And my wife, as you know, all this videography that you see, she does it all. Today, I'm really blessed because my little granddaughter, Olivia, whose dad is an AD, an assistant director, very good worker. He's been around it for a long time. Well, my granddaughter has learned a lot too, and she likes to be the assistant director on all of this. So it's kind of a treat having her here today. So they accompanied me, and we started out Tuesday morning by doing a podcast. Some of you might have seen it with Patrick Bet-David, my dear friend, Valuetainment. I think you all know Patrick. Great guy. He's doing so much, so many good things now, really building a strong media company, doing it the right way. Very intelligent guy. If you haven't seen it, tune in. It was me, Mike Tyson, Patrick, and Adam. His kind of sidekick, I should call it, not disrespectfully, good guy like Adam. And we talked about a lot of things. We spent about 2 hours. Like I said, I'm not going to be redundant, but I love sitting down next to Mike. Let me tell you something about Mike Tyson. He happens to be one of the most sincere, one of the most honest guys you're ever going to meet. And I really mean that. When Mike tells you something, it's what he honestly believes. Very, very sincere. He doesn't lie. He's no BS, has no reason to. And I just enjoy sitting with him, and the words of wisdom that come out of his mouth are unbelievable, really. His wife, Kiki, sweetheart of a woman, very, very intelligent. They're just a great team together, great husband and wife team together. To watch them is just beautiful, I got to say. I really enjoy it, and I've become close with them because of this platform that we're getting involved in. And so we talked about that a little bit, and what we're doing, I'm not going to say it all because it's in development right now, and we're going to launch it in July at a theater in Miami, and it's called the James Knight Center. It's attached to the Hyatt Hotel. Tickets go on sale this Wednesday, advance tickets. You can get them at Ticketmaster. I think they'll post a link here in the video. But the whole platform is going to be about making you the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Mike and I, we're getting up there in age. Me, I'm older than him, and we want to leave a legacy behind us. We've been doing this for a long time. I certainly have. I've been speaking all around the world for the last 25 years. Hey, I'm a Christian. I give my testimony, and when I say that, people understand something. When I say I'm a Christian, I'm not a pastor. I'm not ordained in any way. I just have a testimony, and I believe it was God ordained for me to go and tell everybody what God has done in my life. I don't impose my faith on anybody. I don't try to turn anybody into a Christian. And I can tell you right now, I'm not the model Christian. I'm still a sinner. I still have thoughts that come into my head. I can tell you that I'm a lot better than I was, 25 years ago, and hopefully you get better as days pass by. But understand that, because, you're Christian, self-righteous. We're not self-righteous. We just happen to believe in Jesus Christ, that He's our Savior. And if we sincerely and honestly, remember these words, sincerely and honestly confess our sins, because you can't pull a scam on God. If we're trying to make believe, if I'm trying to fool you or anybody else, on Judgment Day, I'm going to pay for it. So people should never worry if somebody's hypocritic in that regard, unless you're steering people in the wrong direction. If you're doing that, that's no good. And we believe that if we accept Jesus as our Savior, that's what we need to do, and we'll be judged properly on that day. But I want to leave a legacy, and so does Mike. He sincerely wants to help people. He really does. His wife, Kiki, the same thing. They talk about, prison reform, helping inmates when they leave prison, helping them get back and integrate into society. So important. Because if you don't help these inmates, what are you doing? You're putting them right back in a situation where they were before, and they're going to wreak havoc again in the communities. But if you can help them, job placement, just help them, encourage them, tell them the right way to go, and give them the opportunity to do that, you're going to create less crime afterwards, and you're going to straighten these people out, and they're going to have a positive contribution. We want to help kids. Mike sincerely wants to help kids. He really does. He's a big influence. He came up the real hard way. He really did. And he's been able to turn his life around. A good guy now. Soft-spoken, don't mess with him, don't get me wrong. He still packs a punch, believe me. What a great heavyweight fighter he was. Unbelievable. But he sincerely wants to help people. So this platform that we're creating, myself and Mike, and there could be a third person. I'm not going to mention it yet because it's not fully committed, but I think it will be. That's going to be involved in this. My good friend Peter Voogd, I think many of you know him, very successful entrepreneur. My partner Kurt is going to be involved, Kiki, my wife, a lot of people, and we are recruiting the best of the best to help you in your personal development and your business development. We want to make successes out of everybody. We want to teach everybody how to live in this world because people, we're in crisis time. Believe it, don't believe it, but I'm telling you, you're going to see it. Many of you are witnessing it now. So the platform we're creating with Mike is just that. And we're going to be launching it again in July 22nd in Miami. If you happen to be close by, tickets go on sale. It's a night with Mike Franzese, Mike Tyson, and a third person. It's going to be a great night. VIP, the whole bit. It's going to be great. I'm not going to get into it now. We may do something as we get closer. So I was with Mike. We had just a great time filming with him. Some of the things that came out of his mouth was wonderful. We filmed for 2 days. You're going to be seeing the work that we put in fairly soon. Keep your eye out. Keep watching because we're going to start to put it out there for everybody to see and know, and it's going to be a great opportunity for everybody. I think everybody's going to want to belong to this community where we have each other's backs, where we show you how we turned adversity into an advantage in our life. You're going to want to see that. Trust me. And we've been able to do that. You know my life, I'm not going to get into it. But that's what we were doing down there. Secondly, Chaz Palminteri and his wonderful family, Gianna, his kids, we had a great time, went out to dinner a couple of times. But Chaz and I were there for a purpose. And the purpose was we are launching a new platform, The Wise and the Wiseguy, where Chaz and I are going to give you the benefit of our experience and the experience of others. So many intelligent, insightful people have written books that we've all learned from. Chaz is like an encyclopedia. He absorbs knowledge. He's been on the street. He understands. We're going to be putting this platform together really to give encouragement and to give education and some humor. You know, we're still entertainers in that regard. But we're launching that platform on May 24th. And you can go right now to see The Wise and the Wiseguy. You can go on YouTube. And we'd ask you to subscribe. I think there's going to be a link put up too. Subscribe now. Let me tell you something, people. Chaz and I don't charge for this. We don't ask for donations. We don't have a Patreon account. We don't look for money on any of this. This is free advice and wisdom and stories and entertainment that we want to provide for you free of charge. We don't ever ask for any money. And let me tell you, when I ask you to subscribe, it's not because we get paid for a subscriber. YouTube doesn't pay for subscriptions. Why you subscribe? Because it encourages us to say, hey, we're doing the right thing. People are coming on. They want to see us. So, you know, I want to make that very clear when we ask you to subscribe. And why I say this, because some people say, oh, Mike, you're in it all the time for the money. Listen, I'm in business. I want to earn money, but I'm not doing it on YouTube in the way that people think that we are. Now, there are some people out there that charge and ask for donations. Hey, more power to them. If that works for them, that works for them. I certainly don't knock it. We don't do that. Whatever we put out, whatever I put out on YouTube, we never ask for a donation or Patreon. You can go look at all my YouTube videos. It's not what we do. But this is going to be a great platform. Why? How do we know this? Because many of the things that we've said together, little shorts, have gone viral. People are saying, Michael, what chemistry you and Chaz have. It's great. And you know what? I got to love the guy and his family. We've gotten very, very close over the past couple of years. He's a great guy. He means nothing but good for everyone. And the whole family is that way. We just clicked. You know, when you click with a family, it's wonderful. So tune in. The Wise and the Wiseguy. We're going to be probably going on twice a week on YouTube. It's a separate platform from either of the two that we have. Chaz has his own, and of course, you're on mine right now, so you understand that. So it's going to be great. So I was with Chaz. I was with Mike. We did something great. Then I got to tell you what I did. Did you ever hear of Joe's Stone Crab? It's been around over 50 years, and it's the one place in the country where you get stone crab that comes right off the boat, because that's where they're, you know, that's where you get most of them in southern Florida there. And it's so good. I've been going there since, you know, the late 70s. You know, I was really, you know, pleasantly surprised when I went in there. Some of the waiters have been there for 30, 35 years. Would you believe it? 35, 40 years. The waiters don't leave because the place is jam-packed every night. You know, it's always jam-packed. The food is delicious. And I was very encouraged, very nice that people remembered me from when I was back there in the mid '80s. Maitre D there is a wonderful guy. He's been there 22 years. Chaz's family and my family went there, and we had stone crab and a whole lot of stuff. And I got to tell you this, Chaz is going to get mad at me now, but Chaz, don't get mad. Chaz just had a birthday, and he doesn't like birthdays. He didn't want anything, you know. We went to an Italian restaurant on his birthday. They bought a cake. He looked at me like, I can't believe this, you know. He doesn't like the attention in that regard. And it's funny because he's an actor, right? But he doesn't like that personal attention. But he took it well. He really did. But then we go to Joe's Stone Crab a couple of days later, and they bring him out a cake again. So I got that same look for him, like, do you believe this? But he was a good sport about it, and we had a really good time. But that's why I was down there. And of course, Patrick Bet-David. Did spend some time with him, and Patrick's just a great guy. You know, I know in some way, shape, or form, he's always supportive and will be involved in the things that we're doing down there. So it was just a great week. We had a great time. We spent 5 days down there, and it was just extremely productive. I'm very excited about what is to come. Between the Chaz platform, between what we're doing with Mike Tyson, extremely excited about it. I think people are going to benefit it. And honestly, we want this to be the biggest platform in the world. We want to create a community, a worldwide community. And there's nobody better than Mike Tyson to lead that charge. And he is the leader. Look, you know, other than Muhammad Ali, I think Mike Tyson might be the most recognized person in the world, really. And you know what? He's really loved by many too. And the wisdom that he's going to impart is going to be beneficial to everybody. And you know, it's about manhood too. Guys, I can't tell you, Mike is experiencing this too, and so am I. Guys want to be men. They look up to men. And I keep trying to say this, you know, when a man is a man in this world, it's not demeaning at all to women. We're not taking away anything from women, not at all. If a man acts like a man and has the character and the integrity of a man, well, women are going to benefit by it. And please understand that, you know, and it's respect to women that we want to teach. So please understand that. We want to inspire men just to be what they're cut out to be in this life. Yeah, another thing I did, there's a podcast called Fresh and Fit, a fellow by the name of Myron Gaines. I went on his podcast, I think it was Wednesday night. Great guy, he's right there in Miami. He has two podcasts, one that he does kind of with women. I'm not into that at all, but he has another business side that I did, and we had a great time. He was a good interviewer. I like that because I've done so many interviews when, you know, I kind of have to lead the interviewer because they're not really prepared. He was great. Him, and he has, you know, a fellow that works with him. Their whole staff was great. So you can go on that, Fresh and Fit. You can see that podcast. I'll be going on again. He's asked me to go on because we only had an hour, and we could have probably stayed on for 3 hours. When I like somebody, you know, I try to support them. And then, last but not least, I spent 2 hours with Dominic Ciccali. I don't know if you know who Dominic is, but those of you that are into the mob YouTube platforms, you probably do know him. He's only been on since February. Dominic was a capo in the Bonanno family. I had never met him, but when I was in Florida, you know, he lives in the area, and he asked that we meet. We've been talking a little bit. I spent about 3 hours with him, and I got to tell you, what a nice guy. Intelligent guy, speaks well. I enjoy his platform. He seems to be very upfront, very straight, very honest, doing the right thing, intelligent guy. So we spoke for about 3 hours. And you know, I got to tell you something, people. Cosa Nostra, in many ways, we only see the bad side of Cosa Nostra. You know, because that's how the media depicts it. That's how, you know, movies a lot depict it, television series. But, you know, when this real brotherhood exists, when guys have this real fellowship, I got your back, you got mine. It's not all about being in the street and robbing and stealing and doing all the things that we're known for, you know, quite honestly, more than anything else. It's not about that. And sitting down with Dominic for 3 hours, it was just, it was good. It was refreshing. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed meeting with him. We probably will be doing some things together. I want you to support his channel. Go to him, Dominic Ciccali. Go see it. He's growing pretty fast. You know, subs are jumping on. They're liking him. His comments are pretty good. I check in every once in a while just to see. And I think we're going to be doing some things together. We talked about something that I think would be very interesting. Another good friend of mine, Anthony Ruggiano, He's got a channel, he's building. It's tough sometimes, to get this YouTube thing going. It really is. I've been very blessed, very fortunate, thanks to all of you that you've jumped on and liked the content, and we just try to keep working hard to keep your interest in it. But support them. The stories that they're telling are real. If you enjoy that, you want to hear the mob stuff, go ahead. We all have only so many stories we can tell, but I ask you to support Dominic. And if we do something together, we're thinking about it. I want to see what you feel about it. Let me know. We're thinking maybe to get a couple of us together and kind of just have a big sit down, a real sit down, different families getting together. I have a relationship with Sammy, and now it's Dominic, Anthony Ruggiano, Larry Mazza I happened to meet before. Maybe we'll all get together and sit down and talk about, some of the things in Cosa Nostra that maybe you haven't heard before. Guys from different families sitting down and talking, because look, I told you this before and I'll tell you again, I'm against all the bad mouthing of everybody on this. I don't think it's productive. I don't think it's right. I don't think people should try to build their platforms by bad mouthing other people. It's just my opinion. At the end of the day, I don't think it's really productive or constructive for anybody. I'm not going to do it. So you're never going to hear it out of me. But I think it would be cool if the four of us got together. Maybe we'll add some people along the way. I know Mikey Scars, D. Leonardo has a platform. Haven't reached out to him. It was something I didn't even realize. Several years ago, I did something with Trevor McDonald. We did a thing, and I didn't even realize that Mikey Scars, who he was at that point. We had never met. I didn't know him. But he was also in that show. We didn't film at the same time, so I didn't have an opportunity to meet him. But, so you got Mikey Scars, D. Leonardo, made guy. You got Dominic Ciccali, made guy. You got Anthony Ruggiano, made guy. Obviously, you got Sammy, made guy. You got Larry Mazza, made guy. There's 6 of us. Might be very, very interesting if all of us got together and just sat down, had a forum, and just talked. There's a lot that we can shoot the breeze on. A lot of things might come out that you never heard before. Something we're talking about. I'm not saying definitely it's going to happen. Dominic and I talked about it, but again, very nice meeting with Dominic, 3 hours. I ask you to support his channel, and he and I will be doing some things together. I'm pretty sure of that. So that's it for today. A couple of things I want to remind you. July 22nd at the James L. Knight Center. Tickets go on sale May 24th at Ticketmaster. It's going to sell fast. Me and Mike Tyson, and probably a third. I think Chaz is going to join us. May as well say it. It's not done yet, but he probably will. But it's going to be a great night. We're going to take photos. We're going to have a VIP deal. We're going to have a poster signed for you. We're going to do a Q&A. You're going to have a Q&A with all of us. It's going to be great. So look forward to that date. That's the big launch of our platform with Tyson. Again, The Wise and the Wiseguy, me and Chaz, we launch it on May 24th. Go right now, go on YouTube, Wise and the Wiseguy, and subscribe. We appreciate it because that encourages us. Hey, people want it. We already have a lot of subscribers. We didn't even start yet. So we ask you to do that. Again, doesn't put money in our pockets, just encourages us to do that. And that's it for today. So how do I always leave you? Wait, I just remembered. I'm going to answer 2 questions, okay? We always want to do that. We said 2 questions at the end of every video. When it comes to the life and my personal life, so these are 2 separate questions, I would guess. What was the most difficult decision I ever made? Wow. I guess one of the most difficult decisions when I was in the life was leaving the life. That was tough, because I knew I was going to face some retribution, number 1, and number 2, I just felt like I was betraying my life. And so I really struggled with it. I would go to bed leaving the life, wake up back in it, and it was emotionally a very tough time for me. Ultimately, I made the right decision, but you don't just walk away from something you took an oath to, where you had friends, and you did so much. I spent over 20 years on the street, from the time I was a recruit right through the time that I was officially out. That was a tough decision. In my personal life, tough decisions, man. That's hard to say, really hard to say. I don't know if I can answer that, people, being really honest. The toughest decision I made in my personal life was certainly not coming to Christ. That was the best decision I ever made. I'd have to think about that. Let's hold that in reserve, because I made a lot of tough decisions during my lifetime. And fortunately, most of them worked out well. So, I think one tough decision at the time was maybe not going to my dad's funeral for reasons that, I hopefully explained. People knock me for that because they just like to do that, for no reason really. They don't know the situation or the reason behind it. But, it's terrible when people just find something to find fault in. When you're looking for fault in people, you'll always find it. Always, no matter who it is. If you're looking for trouble, you'll always find it, no matter who it is. It's always better to look at the good side, the positive side. And if something happens to be there, it's there, But that was tough. I mean, I obviously did go alone afterwards to see my dad and visit in the cemetery, but that was personal to me. But that was a tough decision because I wanted to be there, but it is what it is. So that's my answers. Next. When a guy is proposed and he becomes a recruit to be a made guy, is he given orders from his higher-ups and told what to do? Or does he have to kind of do his own things to prove his worth? Well, it's a combination of both. You're going to be given orders for sure to prove that you're worthy to become a member. The night I got made, they said, hey, the night that I was proposed and met with the boss, they said, you got to prove yourself. When and if we believe that you've proved yourself worthy to have this privilege, this honor to become a member, we'll let you know. So yeah, you're doing things on your own to kind of show your value. You're doing things on your own to show your value and to show people that you're worthy to become a member. You deserve it. You've earned it. And, also you're being told you have to do this. You have to show that you can accept orders willingly and that there's no blowback on that. You're told to do something, you got to do it. And you're always going to be told to do something and you have to do it. Make that clear. So many people, oh, Michael, you never want to talk about certain things. Let me tell you something, people. I don't have immunity. Just remember that. I was not granted immunity. So there's certain things I'm just not going to talk about in that life. Understood. But that was a very good question. So, yes, you're told by your higher-ups what to do. And yes, you got to prove yourself worthy in your own way. So that's it for today. How do I always leave you? Same way. It's never going to change. Be safe. Gosh, every time I open the news online, I'm hearing something. Ladies, be safe. With all these illegal immigrants, I have to say it, coming over the border. I live in a border state. I have daughters and I have a wife and I have a granddaughter. They have to be careful because bad things are going on. When people are coming into this country that we can't identify, we have no idea. You know how many gotaways are coming into this country? We don't know. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their history is. We don't know anything. And the proof is that things are happening. Bad things are happening. So please be safe. Be healthy. You have the opportunity to live longer today with, all the advances in medicine and in the health field. You got the opportunity to live longer. So take care of yourself. Give yourself the best shot. The most time you can spend on this earth, do it. And yes, God bless each and every one of you. And I really mean that sincerely. As a Christian, we want to see everybody go to heaven. We do. We want to see everybody be blessed. If everybody was blessed and doing the right thing, this would be a much better place, to live in. The whole world would be. So be safe, be healthy, be blessed. Yes. I'll see you next time. Take care.